Welcome back, everybody. It's April 15th, tax day here in the U.S. Well, I have celebrated tax day in an unusual way. I have a finish. So that's what I've done on tax day. I finished something. I've been working on this since January 1st. This was I had hoped to be a sampler that I would stitch in the month of January, and then I realized how big it was, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that. But it was the exclusive that we got at a retreat with Hands-On Design, Kathy Haverman, and it's called Oh Tomato. It's a poem she wrote, and it was inspired by her tomato garden that she has in her home. And I have everything in my kit from the retreat to fully finish this into a wall hanging. We have a spool with end caps on that we will put this on. I have the backing fabric and everything ready to make it. I just finished it today, so I haven't fully finished it yet. But when I picked it up today, the last thing I had stitched was the word work. Actually, I started on this last night. I stitched this tomato part last night, got all of that done. And then today, picked it back up and stitched the remainder of it. So today's stitching alone was 230 stitches, but yesterday I put in 561. So in the last 2 days, I've put quite a number of stitches in this. And it was nice and straight the whole time I was stitching it because I had it on a roller frame, and then I folded it a little bit to put in my project bag to keep everything together, and it's getting wrinkled and it's linen, so I'm gonna lay this out a little differently. I'm not gonna put it back in that bag. Anyway. So the next thing I did after I finished that today was to start a new project, and this is some stitching that's required for one of my pre-finishing, it's pre-stitching required for a finishing class that I'll be taking in July. And I'm thinking, yes, there's a little picture over here. You might be able to see this little bitty picture. And I started on that today. And my friend Juliana had come over to stitch with me, and I started working on this after I finished my Oh Tomato, which I finished while we were stitching together. I'm going to insert a picture of where I got to on my start today because it is so tiny, it's hard for me to show you in much detail, but I'll insert a picture here so you can see how far I got. My goal with this is to finish it in the morning. I would like to get that one finished before I work on anything else. And the good news is, and one of the reasons I actually stopped stitching on it when I did, is that my call on my private bingo game, my call tomorrow is for a small whip. This is the smallest whip I have. It is tiny. So I have to stop in order to have enough room for 100 stitches on it at least. So I figured I'd stop now and put that away. And then, you know, I can get my 100 stitches tomorrow and hopefully finish that before I start on anything else. So on my to-do list that I created at the first of the month, I had placed on it 6 finishes that I wanted to make. Not fully finishes, but for instance, Oh Tomato was one of them, and I finished it today. But I had put on there to finish my April section of my Snow and Mountains, which I did yesterday, my Happy Birthday piece, which I had finished, and my Strawberry Fair piece, which I finished. And then for starting in April, I wanted to start my Christmas sweater, which I just showed you I did start. And I have 3 additional pre-stitching patterns that I have to stitch for a finishing class in July. And I wanted to see if I could finish my two other pieces, Be Ye Thankful, which was my whip go start for the month, and my 11 Pipers Piping, which is my ornament for the month. And if I get all that done, I'm going to reward myself with starting on the bicycle piece for the birthday mantle that's called Summer Treats by Sue Hillis. I would like to go ahead and get that started. So, how does that leave us? Well, let's look at the acrostic, shall we? I can post now my Ode Tomato in the Magazine Monthly Challenge group, which will complete that acrostic of Rowboat. It's the T in O Tomato. And in my 24 hours of cross stitch, I still have 5 out of the original 13 that I have to stitch. And then in my daily 30 group that had 10, I now have to stitch 3. So I'd say I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. So it's only the 15th of the month, and that, you know, that's pretty good. So I'm feeling good about my progress. Now, let's talk about this coming week. It's going to be a crazy week. It's going to be crazy. Tomorrow morning, I have my Bible study at my church. Tomorrow, right after that, I am doing a Zoom call with my friend Marissa, and we're going to stitch together. On Wednesday, I have a phone call with my sister Stephanie because I'll be out of town on Friday, so we've moved it to Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, I have choir practice. Thursday, we're leaving first thing Thursday morning. We are driving down to Perry, Georgia to visit my sister-in-law. She's the one I told you who lost her fur baby recently. And we're taking her the portrait that my friend painted and I had framed. We're taking it to her. And then we're going to spend the night because we're going to take her out for dinner that night, and then we don't want to drive all the way back up here. So we'll spend the night, and on our way back out of town the next day, we're going to have an early lunch with some friends of ours. The husband of this couple was my husband's best man in our wedding. So we've known them that long. We introduced them, actually, and they are now married with 3 grown adult children who are up and out of the house. So they've been together a long time. And we haven't seen them in a while, and so we're going to have lunch on our way out of town with them, visit a little bit. So I'm excited about that. Then when we get up Saturday morning, we have to go back and pick up Coco because we're taking her to Fred's on our way out Thursday. So it'll be a crazy, crazy busy weekend. We have another couple that we're supposed to meet up with on Saturday and give them, show them the area. And then we have church on Sunday. So I have to be real creative about my stitching this coming week. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. So tomorrow afternoon I can stitch with my friend Marissa, but if you're stitching with someone on a Zoom call, you know, you want to stitch something that you can do without a lot of difficulty. I had signed up to participate in one of the challenges in the Daily 30 group, one of the weekly challenges, and I have not even looked at it. I think doing the bingo game every day and doing 3 acrostics is about what I can handle. I find that I do those challenges more so in the Daily 30 group once I've finished all 3 acrostics. Because in the Daily 30 group where the challenges are, you can't double dip. So if I stitch on something, I either have to pick to stitch it for the challenge, or I can pick to stitch it for the acrostic, but it can't go for both. Not in that group. So that kind of makes it a little bit challenging. But anyway, that's the stitching for today. That's my plans coming up for the week, and I'm looking forward to it. I will share with you what I get done as I go along the way, and I just appreciate you letting me come and show you my finish, my tomato. I'm very pleased with it. I think it's going to be beautiful the way it's going to be finished. So thanks for letting me do that, and I hope that you have great plans for stitching the rest of this week. And so I will say good night and go join my husband and Coco and get some sleep before my early day tomorrow talking with my sister. So happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Today is the 16th of April, and it's Tuesday. I have a new start to share with you today. I have been talking with you about putting some stitching together for a mantle decoration in August for all the birthdays in my family. And so I have stitched a couple of birthday pieces, and I had picked out another one that I kitted up, and I was thinking I might not have time to stitch it for this year, but I decided to go ahead and get it started just in case. And it is this one, Summer Treats. So today I pulled all the threads. I already had the fabric picked out, and I decided I was going to get it started, so I put it on my roller frame and I got started. And one of the reasons I did is that I could use it for a prompt in my daily 30 group, and I was using it for the letter I for ice cream. So that's what that's why I chose it. And I had it on my list to do for the prompt, and I thought I'm going to go ahead and get that one done and get the I taken care of. So I did 360 stitches in it today, and that's the one side of the cover that's over the bicycle. And this is an older fabric I had in my stash. It is a Lugana, and it's called Little Boy Blue. And it's a 28 count. It's nice stitching on a 28 count because it's so big I can really see it. But anyway, I worked on that today while I was Zooming with friends. This morning I had Bible study, ladies' Bible study at church. I had lunch with friends. And then when I got home, I worked on a video to upload for you guys. And I'm hoping to get that out in the morning. And then my husband and I went to dinner. And it was just a full day. So I didn't get to start stitching until, really until after dinner today. Oh, I did my bingo stitch early this morning. Let me share that with you. I don't think you've seen it. I finished my little Christmas sweater cookie small from Shannon Christine. This is the third of my stitches for my retreat pre-stitching. So that's 3 of them. That's for one class. And then I have 3 more for another class that I have to do. So that was good. I finished that this morning. Forgot about that. I did that before I went to Bible study. So, and then went off for the day. So I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow's call is for a whip closest to a finish. And I've got 2 whips that are kind of near the same, I guess, percentage. I don't know because I don't use Pattern Keeper. But I decided I'm going to pull out Be Ye Thankful. And I'm going to stitch on it in the morning for my bingo. And then I might just keep working on it because I get to talk to my sister tomorrow, and then I don't have anything the rest of the day until choir practice, and so I could get a fair amount of stitching in. I'm hoping to anyway. So whatever I get done tomorrow, I hope to come back and share it with you. So happy stitching, and I'll talk to you soon. Good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Dina, and it is late in the evening, probably about 6 or so, on Wednesday, April 17th. And I'm about to leave here in a few minutes to go to choir practice. But I have been working really hard today. I wanted to get a finish today so bad. I really, really did. We are traveling a few days, and I wanted to get a finish under my belt before I left in case I didn't get any stitching done the rest of the weekend. So I pulled out Be Ye Thankful this morning because my whip go call this morning was to stitch on a whip of choice. And I decided, I think it was whip of choice. No, it was stitch on a whip closest to a finish. And this one was about my closest to a finish. So I grabbed it up and I pulled out my conversion that I made and my threads, and I got busy. And I have stitched and stitched and stitched. I took a break simply to have lunch, and that was it. So let me share with you my finish. I changed mine a lot, as you'll notice. This is a lot of orange and kind of a yellowy green there, but mine are not. So here's mine. I used a lot of specialty floss, which was just my Classic Colorworks and Jingle Arts. I did the bird with a blend for his chest to make him a blue-chested bird. I changed my lettering to a darker red color. I changed my flowers to a pink and kind of a purpley color. The big change is the house. I love the house. I did it in oak, and it's highly variegated, and I let it stripe, and I think it looks just great. In the pattern, the windows are not stitched. They're left just unstitched. But with my darker fabric and that oak being kind of a medium shade, you couldn't see the windows. So I went ahead and stitched them so that you could see the shadowing behind the windows. Now, if you stitch this, you'll know it's not fully inclusive of everything that Brenda Gervais put in the pattern. I left out one bird over here, and I left out a lot of little off-white, pale little shapes that just sort of filled in every empty space available. And I didn't need that. I didn't want it. I didn't really have an idea of what color to change it to make it fit in here. And so I just left them out. And I kind of like having a little more space in mine where I can see the fabric. I just like it a lot better. I made a conscious decision when I started stitching. I actually wrote in my conversion to leave out that symbol that was the color that did all those little knick-knacky things all over. I made that decision before I ever started stitching on it because I just felt like it was too crowded. Anyway, this is fabric from Hand Dyed by Stephanie, and it is Jamie's Quilt. And I will put my conversion down in the Dropbox, not that you would ever want to copy it, but just in case you were wondering what one particular color might be. And the way that I did my conversion was not symbol by symbol. I wrote down what I was going to do with the bird, what I was going to stitch the acorns with, what I was going to do the basket in the front door with. You know, I did that so that I could read what I wanted to do. And that's how I did it. So I think it's lovely. I'm tickled to death to have a finish. And I will tell you, I have one finish left that I put on my card in the first week of April that I said I wanted to finish this month. I have finished 5 of the ones I wanted to finish already. So I've been working hard. I've been getting a lot of stitching going on. I have my starts that I wanted, with the exception of my pre-stitching for my class. And I think I may take that with me on my trip. So while we're at the hotel maybe, and I get a few minutes to stitch, I can start on those because they're small and they only take about 2 or 3 colors. I think that would be a good thing to take with me on the trip. But I hope you like it. Be ye thankful on Jamie's kilt. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's very muted and very soft colors. I really like it. So I hope you do. Thanks for letting me share it with you. And I'm gonna run now because I have to go to go to choir practice. And I will try to catch back up with you as soon as I can. We're leaving in the morning, so I may not get to film for a little while. But when I do, I'll catch you up on what I've been doing. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Dina, and today is Thursday. It is the 18th of April. And I am here to tell you about my stitching this morning, and then to say farewell for just a couple of days while we travel. But while my husband is taking Coco to Fred's house, I had an opportunity to stitch for my bingo stitch this morning. So this morning's call on bingo was to stitch on a whip that needed some attention. And I hadn't touched this one in a while. This is Jingle Jolly Joy by Misty Purcell. And so I decided to pick it up and work on it. I had finished the first 2 blocks and I needed to start the third one. I hadn't stitched anything on that block yet. So I got busy. I did 101 stitches. I took a picture so I could post it because I wasn't sure how much time I was going to get this morning to really stitch. And then I just kept stitching after I had enough. And I wound up getting 289 stitches to complete the whole block. So the border's done. I'm very excited about that. So next time I pick this up for a prompt, I'll start working on the snowman with the little bird and have that final square completed. That'll be great. So I'm excited about that. I think that'll be awesome. And now I have to put everything away, kind of straighten up, because my husband and I are heading out of town. We don't have too far to go. We are going just to Perry, Georgia, where my sister-in-law lives. And we are going to go visit with her a bit. Try to encourage her a little bit since she, lost her fur baby a couple of weeks ago. And we're taking the portrait with us to gift to her. So I hope she likes it. I don't know how much stitching, if any, I will get. But that's okay. I'll only be gone a day and a night. 2 days and 1 night. So that's not too bad. You should have seen Coco this morning when I told her that she had to go out and potty because we had a long drive and she didn't want to go. So I finally said, "Do you want to go to Fred's?" She got all excited. I said, "Then we have to go potty." So she ran out there and pottied. She got the message. Anyway, it worked. So there you have it. That's my stitching, possibly for the day, but I am tickled to death that I got my bingo call met. And here's an added bonus. When I looked at my acrostics, because I thought, well, maybe I'm sure I have an M or something in there, maybe a P. I knew I didn't have a J, but I knew Misty Purcell was the designer of Jingle Jolly Joy. And sure enough, I had a couple of M's in my 24-hour of cross stitch. So I was able to use my 289 stitches on my Jingle Jolly Joy by Misty Purcell for one of the M's in my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic, which is earn some money. So I used it for the first M in that acrostic, and that is great. So now I have completed my magazine acrostic. I have 4 left in the 24 hours of cross stitch, which is great. I started out needing 13 of them. And I have 2 left in the daily 30. So not too bad. And this is just the 18th of the month, so I got plenty of time, and I'm excited about that. So I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. I'm going to go make sure I've got everything packed. I'm going to clean up my desk here so that when I come back it's nice and neat, and then I am going to be heading out the door. Have a great rest of your week stitching and crafting, whatever you might be up to. And until we speak again, happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is Friday night, April 19th, and I'm here to tell you about our travels and our stitching. Well, my stitching. We left Thursday to go to Perry, Georgia to visit with my husband's sister. And I think most of you will remember that she had a precious little puppy that passed away recently, and my friend that does watercolor had painted her pet that just passed away after 21 years. And we had it framed, and we took the picture down to my husband's sister. It was a surprise. She didn't know we were bringing her anything. We just told her we wanted to come visit her and take her out to dinner and just see her. And so we drove down to Perry and went to her house, and she has another little puppy that she hasn't had but a few years, and her name is Gracie. And so we played with Gracie a little bit, and we talked with my sister-in-law, and it didn't take long before she showed us the certificate for when she had Ginger cremated, and she said she wanted to put her ashes in a pretty little urn, and she wanted a picture of her, and she wanted to put it with her certificate, and they had made a paw print for my sister-in-law, and she was wanting to put all that together in sort of a vignette, I guess, in honor of her lifelong pet. And she said, I need to get a picture of her to put in here. And I said, well, I think we have you covered. And so I had a little bag, a little gift bag that I had hidden the picture in. And I handed her the gift bag, and she looked in it, and she saw it was a picture, and she said, oh, you're going to make me cry. And she pulled it out, and she did cry a little, but not a lot. She did really well. And she loved it. She said, the first thing she said, it looks just like her. I can't wait to tell my friend that. That the very first words out of her mouth were, it looks just like her. And we even got the story about how she had one ear flopped over most of the time. And so it was great. We went out to dinner and had a lovely evening. And I'm very pleased that we were able to do that with her. It had been almost 3 years since we had been to visit, so it had been a long time. So we went and stayed overnight in a local hotel, and then for lunch on today, we were able to meet up with another couple that we have not seen in a long time. And the husband was my husband's best man in our wedding. And then later we introduced the two of them to one another, and they got married, and they've raised 3 children, and now they're both retiring, and we've known them for a very long time, probably 30-something years anyway, but we hadn't seen them in a while because we moved out of the area. So today was fabulous. We talked for a long time. We have made some general plans that now that they're retiring, we might like to go travel a little bit together, maybe go to the beach together or do some things together to stay in closer proximity to one another, which would be great. I think that would be awesome. Anyway, it was a lovely weekend of friendship. Just had a great time. But I took stitching with me. You know, I took stitching with me. And I was so delighted because I was able to stitch in the car on the way down, which is about a 2.5-hour trip to where we were. And then after we got back from dinner, we didn't want to keep my sister-in-law up too late, and so we got back to our hotel room pretty early. I would say around 9 o'clock and 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I stitched some then. And then I got up this morning. We didn't have to check out till 11. And so I got up this morning and got ready to go to lunch, but we weren't meeting our friends till 12:30. So I stitched until we had to leave at 11. And then we had a couple of business things to take care of, and we did that on the way to lunch, and I stitched all the way home. So I have great news to share with you. I have, as of today, finished all of my pre-stitching that is required for my finishing classes in July. So it's all done. I'm very excited about it. So let me share it with you. So I started on Friday, this one, and I got about halfway there, maybe till here. And then I had to, this morning, finish it up. So, because it was, my call today was to stitch on my whip closest to a finish. And this was the closest thing I had to a finish. I only had to do the other half, which was great. So I got that done and posted it this morning. And then, while I was riding around waiting for my husband to take care of getting his, he has a military ID. He's a retiree, and so he had to go get that updated. And while we were at the base, you know, while we were in town with the base and all that. So I started stitching this while I was waiting for him and on the way to lunch. And then right after lunch, on the way home, I finished this one. And I started this one, which is the third one of the three I have to stitch for this class. And it is, as you can see, very little stitching. And so in the 2.5 hours that I drove home with my husband, I wasn't having to drive, he was. I stitched the 131 stitches to finish this one. So in the last 2 days, I have stitched 3 projects. They're all very small, but they were all needed for class. We're going to learn how to make a drum with this. This is going to be the topper for an Altoids tin, I think. We're going to learn how to do that. And this is going to be a strawberry, a little tiny strawberry. I'm very excited. And I know that's not a whole lot of stitching on any of those, but I am tickled to death to be ready to go. I don't have any more pre-stitching I have to do. So I'm happy about that. I have a little shopping list of things I'm supposed to bring with me, and I'll have to figure out scissors. And there's a whole list here. It says if you have glue, tape, scissors available for sharing, but please bring if you have them at home. So I'll bring what I have, see if it's what she needs or whatever else. So I do have the call already has come in for what I'm supposed to stitch on in my bingo game tomorrow, and it's to stitch on a small whip. Now, unfortunately, I've already finished these smalls, but, you know, I do, I'll have to think, what is my smallest whip that I have now that I've finished all these? And I'm thinking that it's probably going to be my berry, my 11 Piper's Piping berry that I had such a hard time with the last time I worked on it. So I'll get it out maybe in the morning and see how it goes and put at least 100 stitches in it. So that'll be fun. So while I was at the hotel, I got a phone call on my cell phone from Hobby Lobby. And Donna, my friend Donna, and I had taken some stitching over there to be framed. Now, you've already seen my stitching. It was the sampler for all seasons, and because I had my own frame and I wasn't matting anything, Mindy got it done within about 2 days, and I already have it back. But I did leave my watercolor that my friend did for me of Coco to be framed. And so that is ready. And my friend Donna left 3 pieces of cross stitch to be framed. They're a grouping, and hers is ready. So Donna's going to come up here in the morning about 10 o'clock, and we are going to go over to Hobby Lobby, and we're going to pick up our framing. And I think I've talked Donna into coming by here and sharing her framing with you. And I told her to bring her stitching, so I'm hoping she'll bring her stitching with her, and we could share some of that too. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. So I wanted to record for you what I had stitched in the last 2 days so I didn't forget anything and miss sharing it with you. And but that's what I've been up to. And then I will hopefully have more stitching to share with you tomorrow. If Donna and I get some stitching accomplished, I will enjoy that. That's about it. That's about all that's happened. A lot of traveling, a lot of fun times, a lot of visiting, some good food, and stitching. I was really tickled. I took 2 things with me. I took that group of 3, and then I took my By the Bay, and I was going to stitch on it because it's on fabric that I can see pretty easy in the car, and it's big blocks of color, but I didn't get to it. When I finished that 3rd one, we were close enough to home that I didn't want to start something else, and so I didn't. But anyway, 3 finishes in the last 24 hours. They are tiny, but at least they're all done. I'm really happy about that. So I'll let you get back to what you were doing, and thanks for letting me share about my weekend with you. And until we speak again, happy stitching, everybody. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I have Donna here with me today, I'm excited to say. And one of the things we had to take care of is some old business. So we had announced a winner of the project that Donna had put up for adoption. And this is the Their Own Traditions Pins and Needles and Pins wedding sampler. And unfortunately, the winner has not contacted me, even after I sent a second message. So we waited another week. And today, when Donna came over, we did the random number generator again. And it picked number 25. And that is Owl Bee Stitching. OWLBESTITCHING. And I know that you comment regularly. So if you will email me your mailing address, be happy to put this in the mail to you. And again, it comes with everything you need, a working copy, the project so far, and you will be able to finish it up. So I will be stitching. Please get in touch with us through my email that's in the information box below, and we'll get that to you. Okay, now we have some new business to take care of. So I mentioned that Dawn and I had gone to Hobby Lobby together to take over some things to be framed, and you've seen 2 of mine already. You've seen the little watercolor of Ginger, my sister-in-law's little beloved pet, and you have seen my sampler for All Seasons, but you didn't see the other watercolor that I took, which was of Coco. Same friend did a watercolor of Coco, and I've had it for a while, and I finally decided to get it framed. So Donna, you'll have to help me with this because it's there. We go.
Can we get the glare? Oh,
there we go.
There.
So there's Coco, and it looks just like her, I think. And we put it in this frame. If you can see the wood grain here, it's just looks like wood slats, like a fence, because she always looks out the window slats in the house, and that's what I thought it reminded me of that. And the mat just brings out the color in her eyes. So that's Coco, and I'm gonna hopefully put it right up in my kitchen. Donna and I scoped out a spot for it today.
Poor Tommy.
He's got some pictures to hang.
We even found stuff at Home Depot. I mean, not Home Depot, at Joann's.
Yes.
I find a lot of things at Home Depots for my cross stitching. But
Yep.
Joann's, we found something for Dina. We just got to get Tommy to go.
And get it.
Well, we're going to order it online so we get a better
Deal.
price on it.
Yeah,
And
Donna
then-
got a good coupon when she checked out today. She's going to let me use it. So that'll be good. But what we found is a little stand that has a flat top to it that I can use as both an ironing board. I can make a cover to go on it, or a cutting board. And then it has the drawers right under it as part of the stand, and I could put all my finishing fabric in it. And if I do that, I could get rid of several big bins in my room and a separate ironing board, and I could combine that space down into a more efficient use of my room, which I think would be lovely. So I'm looking forward to that. So now Donna took stitching to be framed, and today she was able to pick it up.
We're going to see how long I have this. I have very little stitching on my own because my family sees it and then it's like gone.
They take it. They want it.
I mean, it's not like I don't generously give it to them because that's what makes me happy, but they'll see it and they'll go, oh, I really like that. Or,
That would look so good in
yeah.
my
Or my mom will say, oh, I really like that. And I'm like, Mom, do you want this? And she'll go, oh, yes. And so it ends up being hers, even though I was making it for myself.
And every now and then she'll tell Donna, you know, you haven't stitched anything for me in a while.
Yeah, yeah. So,
She lets her know it's time.
yeah, she's told me that now. I'm trying to find something. Oh, it has to be something Christmas, though, you know. So it's got to be big, and it's got to match this other one picture that I did that's like humongous. So I got to find something, and I don't want it to be a Hage. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for something that'll work. Okay, so this is my first project. This is, there it is.
There you go.
This is an Italian designer, and I want to say it. All I can remember is R&P, but he's got a different name to it. I had to order my patterns from there, from Italy. So, and they came fast, but that was okay. This is my first one.
I'll hold it,
Okay.
and you hold up the next one.
Okay, so this was a different pattern. There was 3 of these in this pattern. They're all hearts, but these are the same colors. This was number 2, and then this one's number 3. That's how this is how I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put those over my bed, on that wall of my bed. And then the other one I did is this heart, but it's red, and it just didn't go. So I said, oh, I'll do something else with that. But I don't know if I'll make it into a pillow or if I'll have it matted into a heart shape and then put it into a frame. But I'll do something with that, and then probably gift that to someone, because red's not one of my favorite colors.
Yeah. That one you can let one of your aunts take.
Yes.
I said, put that out. Then when they say, oh, I want one, give them the red one.
Yeah.
So they can do that.
And then what was made nice is I received a gift card, so that helped me get all 3 of them done at one time.
Right. Right.
So that way they all match.
And they're all done together, and you can put them all up at the same time. Which will be great. So the stitching that Donna's been working on, she brought, she's going to the same finishing class that I'm going to in July at the Silver Needle. And so she's been working on her pre-stitch as well for the classes. And so she brought it today. I think you're going to try to finish it today.
Yes. I will have number 3 done today, definitely. Yeah. I have less than probably 25 stitches.
Yeah. So she's almost done.
Sorry, I'm taking it off the Q-snap.
Q-snap, yeah. And it was interesting because after Donna stitched it, she was like, is yours this tiny? These are really tiny. And I had mentioned to you before how tiny they were. And I mentioned that I was a little worried about fully finishing them because they'll be fiddly. But that's okay. Here are her 3 for the one class. These are all for the same class.
And they're on 32 count, but I mean, these things are not even, I mean, look, they're not even to my knuckle.
Yeah, they're small.
They're small, very small.
A lot of stitching.
A lot of stitching.
A lot of color changes in this one. Not so many over
this
here.
This one had like 5,
but these,
6.
Yeah. But this one had the most color changes to me.
Yes.
But I thought it was very pretty.
And this one's totally full coverage.
So what we're going to learn is we're going to learn to do the shape of a finish on that one. This one's going on a tall, what did she call it? Stand of some kind.
Oh, I thought it might be that one that went on that.
Well, maybe this is the triangle stand. One of them's a triangle and one of them's a tall one. But we're learning techniques that we'll be able to bring back and use on other things that we want to finish. So I'm really looking forward to that sweater shape because you know I have those 4 sweaters that are the all in blue, the Christmas Noel in blue. And I've only done one, and I stopped because I wasn't sure how I was going to finish it. And now I'll know how to finish it in the shape of the sweater, which will be great.
And then I think I have 9 or 12 more sweaters you can borrow because they were freebies.
Well, then I can do a whole tree. One of
a
my
little tree.
Trees. Yeah,
yes.
That would be awesome.
Sorry about the pattern or the fabric being so wrinkled. I had it all wadded up in my bag.
And working on it, changing it out, and all that kind of stuff. So, well, Donna and I are going to stitch now. And so if we have more stitching to share with you, we'll come back and do that. But we've had a great morning. Donna came up and we went to Hobby Lobby and picked all this up and went and did some shopping. And then when we went to lunch, and then we came back and did the random number generator so we could get that thing out to somebody who might want to stitch it. And now we're going to stitch. So it's been a great morning and it's going to be a great afternoon. I hope you have a great afternoon and I hope you get lots of stitching done.
Enjoy your afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's getting nice here.
It is. It's getting nice. It was really nice out today. Pretty and sunny, but not too hot. It was lovely.
Flip-flops are out for the year.
Yep, Donna's in her flip-flops already. Shorts and flip-flops.
Shorts are all year long. Doesn't matter how cold it is around
That's
here.
True. So. That's true. We'll be zooming and Donna will be in shorts and have a blanket over her lap. It's just the way it is. Okay, we may talk to you later, or if not, I'll share with you what I've done. But I'm going to go enjoy Donna's company, and we're going to get some stitching done. So, happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is a little bit later on Saturday, the 20th of April, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about how my afternoon has been going. My friend Donna and I stitched. We did a little bit of online shopping together, putting together our gifts that we want to present to our table mates at our retreat in July. We wanted to do something together, and so we got that done today, which was a huge accomplishment. And then we stitched, and Donna worked more on her pre-stitching, and I worked on my Erica Michaels 11 Vipers Piping Berry. So today I put in 344 stitches total. The first 105 stitches was for my bingo today for a small whip. And now I am just slightly over halfway done with my berry. So I have 6 of the pipers stitched, and I have only 5 more to go. So this half is done, and now I'll come over here and finish this half. Hopefully the next time I stitch. It may take a couple of times, but I'm hoping to get it done, this month. That is always the goal. So I have finished working on it for the day. I'm gonna see if my husband is about ready for dinner, get that taken care of, and then depending on what we decide to do this evening, I'll come back and stitch some more if I can. If I come back and I'm able to stitch this evening, I think what I'm gonna work on would be one of my prompts for my acrostics, and I would be looking at one that I haven't already identified. would be one I stitch on when the numbers are called on my private bingo game. I only have 5 days of bingo left. And then, of course, we'll be at the 25th, and it'll be whip go calls for next month that I can start planning for. And then there will be acrostics that come out pretty soon after that as well, for the following month. So that'll be lots of fun. Tomorrow's Sunday. We have church commitments, and then hopefully I'll have the afternoon to spend some time with Coco, my hubby, and then do some stitching. So I would also like to get another prompt met tomorrow if I can. And so I'll be sure and share that with you. I am glad to have all the pre-stitching done. I am now ready to start knocking out these acrostics so that I can start working on some challenges. So I've learned to kind of pace myself, and so I don't get frantic trying to, stitch so much that it feels pushed or forced. I don't want that. You don't want your stitchy bug to be chased off, which is, would be a terrible thing. So I will talk to you the next time I have some stitching to share, whether it be later this evening or whether it be tomorrow. In the meantime, for you, I wish you happy stitching. Hello everybody, welcome back. This is my last time to come and speak with you this evening on April 20th. This is just a wrap up of my last part of my stitching for the day. I went and checked out my acrostics, and I discovered that one of my letters, E, in the 24 hours of cross stitch, the first E for earn some money, I had put on my acrostic to stand for embellish fabric, which is the fabric that I am using for my December quilt. I'll remind you of what that looks like. It's a Paula Vaughn, and that's the December one there. And so today I actually put in 247 stitches for this prompt. I always, if I don't have a guide to go by, if it's not one of my challenges that tells me how much that I have to put in, and if it's not on my daily 30 acrostic requiring 300, then I generally try to put in 200 stitches if I can. So today I did 247, and let me point out what I did, because this one I've started in the middle, which is unlike me, but it was better to start there for this piece. And I've been stitching in both directions today. So I started out doing this half stitch that's in the middle. It's the wallpaper on the wall behind the quilt. And this is the shadow that goes around a picture frame that's on the wall behind the quilt. So I did all that color around there. Then, because those were half stitches and it was taking me a long time to get to 200, I came over here and I did 2 separate colors of stripes up and down on that quilt that represents a fold in the quilt. So altogether 247 stitches, and that's a prompt I think that's well met, and I feel like I've made progress really a great deal tonight, because I've stitched up and I've stitched across, working my way this way to the end of the quilt. So very happy with that. I'm going to take a picture of it and post it in my 24 hours of cross stitch group, and that will complete another letter of that group for the acrostic. And it looks as if that will leave me only 3 more letters to get. So another E, which I have originally put in here as Miss Christmas Eve, and then an M, which I have put in here as Rosewood Manor, my Spring Quaker, and then N for Nativity. So I will be working on Spring Quaker tomorrow, because my call for tomorrow's private bingo for the 21st is number 18, and on my board, number 18 is Spring Whip. So that's my best spring whip. It may be my only spring whip. So I'll be pulling that out tomorrow when I get home from church, and I'll work on it, and I'll put at least 100 stitches in it for my bingo, and then I could very well just let that be it for my acrostic as well, or I may try to work toward finishing a section of the motif. This is one of those really, really large motifs that has multiple colors, and so I've worked on it twice, and I'm probably not even halfway. So we'll see. I'll be making more progress on that motif. Regardless of whether I'll finish it or not, I don't know. But I will put some progress into it. So that'll be stitching at least for part of tomorrow. I don't know what else I might pick up. But I still need to stitch on those that I mentioned, Miss Christmas Eve, Rosewood Manors, Spring Quaker, and Nativity, to complete 24 hours cross stitch. And in my daily 30 group, where I need 300 stitches, I have yet to stitch on Let Love Rain or Nativity. See, Nativity's in both, so whenever I stitch on it, I'll be hitting at least 300 stitches. So that'll be more than enough for the 24 hours of cross stitch as well. So there you go. Okay, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm actually sleepy, which is great. Sometimes I have to stay up kind of late to get sleepy. So I'm going to go to bed and take Coco with me, and then we'll start our day all over in the morning. In the meantime, everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and happy stitching to you. Cutting these treats up here. These are too small. No.
What are you doing?
We're cutting up doggy treats for her potty treats. And let's go. I just try to get them bite size, but when they're too tiny, she has to just eat those. So she helps me out. She stands right here and eats the little ones.
There's a lot of little ones tonight.
Well, yeah, they've kind of broken up a little bit in the bag. I'm just giving her the little ones.